Welcome back, everybody, and we are now on to our final trial, or the last trial. This would be the trial of fire, and I would describe this trial as it's hard, but it's intense. And unlike in Eye of Eden, the final level of the game, where you have one end of it, in Trial of Fire, of course, as in all the trials, you keep on respawning until you finish, until you get through it, which can be both really frustrating and really relieving, because the point is not to lose the trial. The point is to eventually get through it. I don't really know if it was my imagination or if it got easier as you died more often. Maybe it was my imagination. I felt like at a certain point it had mercy on me. Maybe that was just coincidence. Again, this run through, now you'll see I'm going to do a quick change here. I'm on one of my alternate ID in beta, which is a normal sized player, because I was doing all the trials as a normal sized player. But I had so much trouble with this run through, and it was so confusing. And this was actually my second run through solo. And it got so confusing that I decided to not use that video for this. So I decided to do another run through it. But the only ID I had available that didn't already have the winged light was my regular beta ID. So I went through it, and that ID is small. So it's not chibi, but I'm small. My character is small. Not as small as I am in live, but it is a smaller size. So basically I'm still my normal alternate ID here, and then once we get inside, I'm going to edit it to be my smaller. So again, the small didn't have any effect in this trial. I think it does. The small chibi might have a harder time in the other trials. Maybe not air, but definitely earth and definitely water. This one I don't think it had any effect. So we'll run on inside here, and you're just going to see me change size. So I'm going to suddenly be a little bit smaller. See, it's a little bit smaller. All right. So of course the point is to not lose your light at all. You die if you lose your light, and then you respawn at the last checkpoint you hit, just like in all the other trials. This first level is a little bit of a false sense of security because there's no creatures. So you just think it's dark, eerie music, and you might lose your light pretty quickly if you're not quick about lighting the candles. Okay, so that first checkpoint, or I called it the second checkpoint. Third checkpoint, I think this was it. I didn't mark them on this one. But this is just getting you ready for what's to come. The idea is you have to keep on lighting the candles. There are 4 checkpoints in all in each level. There are 3 levels. There's checkpoint number 4, which is the end. So first checkpoint is the entry, 4th checkpoint is the end, and there are 2 in between. They get farther and farther away from each other, especially the second and third from each other. So now we're going to go on to the second level. So here's checkpoint 1. On this level, you will look for the group of 3 candles. At each of those groups of 3 candles is where you can wait a bit to see what happens. So it kind of is your indicator of something might be happening up ahead. So I'm listening. If you chirp big, you can also see the creatures. Of course, you don't know the creatures exist yet until you run into one for the first time. So there was nothing there. So far, so good. You also want to keep track of which way you're going. Whoop, there's one. There he goes. Poof, back to checkpoint 1. Okay, so you want to keep track of which way you're going, because in this run, I think I actually got turned around and went back to the beginning. I skipped that. Anywhere where I did not light new candles between a death and a death. I edited out. But every time I lit new candles, I have kept in. So you will see me die a number of times. But you just want to keep track of which way you're going because it's very easy to get turned around. I felt like other players, so here we're waiting. There had been a group of 3 and we're waiting for him to pass. But sometimes having the lights lit ahead, so you know, kind of progressing slowly die, but you got a couple lights more. That helps you a little bit, and it will help you a lot more later, actually later in this level, where you're almost assured of death. There's checkpoint 2. You're almost assured of death, but then you can progress a little further, and then at a certain point you can just fly through. And that might be here, actually. No, it's not here. It's the next level. But that's where I got turned around. So remember which way you're facing that thing, which way you're going from where you're at the checkpoint. I call them checkpoints. Other people call them shrines or statues. But it really is a checkpoint, it's a save point. But you do want to make sure you just know which way you were going when you last lit one of those checkpoints. Barely missed him. And the creatures do have the same route. They go the same route every time. So listening and understanding where they are also helps. So just remember which way I'm going. I'm going to the right of where I'm on the wall. So I'm keeping my left hand on the wall, basically, at this point. And there's another group of 3. And you can usually see the candles you want to go to, but sometimes the candles can be misleading. Sometimes they're too far away, so you've kind of got to do the long route. They're too far away to light. And at one point, you can miss a checkpoint. So you just want to be careful. That's going to be the next level, where you miss a checkpoint if you go straight ahead. Just remember which way you're going, because the candles can be misleading, the lit candles. So I'm waiting to listen. There was a movement right there. Okay, maybe safe to go. And I'm at checkpoint 3, which is near the end. Usually between the 3rd and 4th is the shortest, is one of the shorter ones. And I got stuck I got stuck walking in that hula hoop. My controller, I'm not sure why my controller was doing that, but I was stuck. I couldn't move forward because my character wanted to just do the little walk thing rather than go where I wanted it to go. Okay, so there's actually the group of 3. I already did my waiting. I'm just looking around. That's where I came from, though. So that's where I want to go. I'm listening, because I'm at a group of 3. I did it again. And that's where I got turned around. So I went the wrong way. So I'm going to go back, and the checkpoint was on my right. I'm just listening, waiting. Here he comes. There he goes. And if, of course, if I big chirped, I could have seen him. And we are at the end. Yay! End of level 2. Okay, so you had a little bit of a giveaway there with those little groups of 3 candles. In the next level, you do not. All you've got is your observational skills. So, this starts out rough. And you've got these little hallways that suddenly have creatures in them. So yeah, that was fun. Didn't even stand a chance. So let's try this again. But sometimes, because once you've lit those, you don't have to wait and light them again, so you can race through the second time. So sometimes those, the first one, at least lighting some candles, helps you at least be able to get further the second time. In this one, you're staying to the left. And it's important because at one point you see candles straight ahead, but you want to turn the corner to the left. Blast. Okay. So go again. Try this again. This time at least I can just run through. I don't have to stop and light candles. Oop. Boo. Okay. But there's a point where, and I think it's right here, where you can see candles more than one direction, and you want to stay left, because if you don't stay left, you miss the checkpoint. This checkpoint right here. So you just need to make sure they make this left turn to this checkpoint, because if you go straight across, there's candles and you can make it and you can light them, but then you've missed a checkpoint. So if you get killed, you'll go back to the checkpoint 1, to the beginning. Now this is, I found, the trickiest part. Very easy to miss the fact that there was a left turn. And you see candles everywhere. Right there. See that left turn right there? You see the candles right there. That was a left turn that I missed over and over and over again. Yep, and there's a creature. Okay, but see, if I didn't hit that checkpoint 2, I'd be back to the beginning. Okay, so try this again, and this time don't miss that left turn. But you can watch the creatures go through it. And I sat here waiting for a while, but it's almost like they become more numerous. And then realize the beauty of having already lit the candles is I can race through ahead of them. So I'm going to sit here and wait for a little bit. And there's another one. Look at those big old things. But see, there's so many of them now. And I think I am going to make a run for it and not make it. But they're all going that way too. It's right there. Oh, okay, I am going to make it, looks like. Oop, nope, there he is. So, I think next I'm going to try just going for it before they all go to that way. So the beauty is I already have all these lit. I don't really have to stop for very long, other than to just make sure I have charge enough to get to the next point and then move right along. Oops. And there I skipped on the left, and I think, okay, I'm going to go back. All right, one more time. They're everywhere. Oh my God. Okay, see, there's a candle to the left. And that's where I wanted to go. To be a little bit out of their path, it looks like. And then candle to the left. It wasn't lighting. It just kind of seems to have gotten me out of their path at that point. And then we have another left turn here. Doesn't help when candles don't light. To the left. And again, some candles are there to be a decoy. to get you off. Now I think I was lucky here. I had a very smooth run right here. My timing was just right. I got that dang hula hoop again. D-pad. Hula hoop, I think it is. And there we go. That is the end. Woohoo! So that one was relatively easy. And I don't think my size had any bearing on how that felt. And then finding your way around this is a puzzle in itself, it seems. They're down below you. And through. And yes, you can die here. And there we go. We have reached the end of the Trial of Fire. So that one, patience and kind of staying to the left, it seems, mostly. And that level is your keys. Looking to the left for your route. There are a lot of candles there that are meant to mislead you. Again, there is a nice map that somebody has created. It is on the wiki. I will link to it, or link to the wiki page in the description so you can see where that map is. And it does help. It's not perfect exact, but it is a pretty good help. And there is our winged light around all these creatures. That's kind of scary. This is very loud here. Yeah, we are powerful now. They can't hurt me anymore. So there's our winged light. So I hope that was a clear enough help through it. I know there are other guides out there, of course. Mine's a little late to the game, but that's okay. I have actually not had time to play this, just play the trials on my own. And I'm kind of sad I didn't now because they're not so bad. Challenging, definitely, but they're a little easier as a solo or small group than they are with a huge group. And of course, not being on live. So here's our final part of the finishing the Cave of Prophecy. Once again, this is part of the finishing the Prophecy Cave, which was part of the season of prophecy in late 2020. And of course, this whole quest sequence, the trials and everything, will remain, of course, after the season. So you can always gather those winged light. And of course, when the spirits return as traveling spirits, this is where they will be, just like in the original season. So now we've just got to go visit our season guide to see what he has in store for us. And again, during the season, the hearts in this map were free. And after the season, though, you pay 3 candles per heart. So it's better to do it during the season. But but they're there if you weren't around during the season. And now you see all the spirits gathered, which is kind of cool. And the story and the glyphs. And more. And we have our ancestors, elders. There's the forest elder, the twins in the valley, the wasteland elder. Vault is down there, just didn't show, I guess, in that. And there we go. Oh, and there was one other bit of this, because you saw those little pots. So you can go up and you get even more by lighting those pots. So these are the stones that came to us from after doing the earth trial. Then we have the updrafts from the air trial and the water from the water trial. Then you have fire from the fire trial. Boats. And then it tells you to go light the next pot. Whoops. There's our prophecy spirits. Next pot. Going up a mountain. So Journey-ish. If you played Journey, that's the same kind of diagram you had in the tower at the end of at the second to last level of Journey. People walking up a mountain. Actually, it might have been the snow level. I can't remember now. One of them, though, had the people walking up the mountain. Anyway, back to Sky. Again, there's a whole channel of lore on the official Discord, and I'm sure there's other Discords devoted to the lore of the... There's some discussion of lore on the wiki as well. So that is completing the Cave of Prophecies and all of the trials. So I hope you found some of that helpful. It's quite a beautiful season. Not my favorite, but still a beautiful season. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.